Visitors have seen the lighthouse keeper at the top of the tower, only he's been dead for more than a century. His presence at the lighthouse could be explained by the fact that he fell to his death while painting the outside of the tower. Welcome to my channel, Enlightenment in the Darkness. On the coast of Florida, where the Tolomato and Matanzas rivers spill out into the unforgiving waters of the Atlantic, stands one of America's oldest and most haunted structures, the St. Augustine Lighthouse. Standing 164 feet tall, nestled on the northern edge of Anastasia Island since the mid-1500s, this lone sentry has seen its fair share of history. For better or for worse, from the colonization of the Americas, to the 100 Years' War, to the birth of a nation and its subsequent divide, the St. Augustine Lighthouse has stood watch, year after year, through plagues and power struggles, as a beacon of hope in the darkness. Looking up at its twisted, black and white striped base, capped with a blood-red crown, you can almost sense it. That something is off, but it isn't until you've run your fingers along its coquina walls, a mixture of limestone and broken shells, that you can really feel it, what the centuries and the salt have carved out like ancient runes. It holds memories. On the ground floor living quarters, where so many lighthouse keepers have laid their heads over the years, the raw, almost sickly sweet smell of a freshly lit cigar can be detected, subtle beneath the ocean air. Remnants of a different time, when men huddled around wood-burning stoves and waited out the storms, praying that no lives would be lost on their watch. Inside the lighthouse proper, climbing the tall, spiraling staircase, the sound of crashing waves and screeching gulls is dampened by the thick walls. The sudden quiet is almost welcome, until a new sound emerges, the bell-like ringing of a little girl's laughter. It starts at the top of the stairs, high above your head, and works its way down, down, down until it is silenced, abruptly. In the red room at the very top, the beacon itself sits staring like a giant glass eye, seeing through time to the world that was before. You step out onto the catwalk, taking in Anastasia Island and the enormity of the sea beyond. It feels like you could be one of those lone lighthouse keepers, on duty, eyes on the horizon. That is until you see her, a shadow of a woman in the corner of your eye, holding onto the railing and leaning out into the open air until she isn't. You two grip the railing, white-knuckled, looking out over the trees to the water beyond. You can't help but wonder what it would feel like if you stepped out too. To be nothing more than another memory left behind at the St. Augustine Lighthouse, standing watch and waiting as the centuries slipped by and history rewrote itself. Like all hauntings, the spirits that roam the grounds of the St. Augustine Lighthouse didn't just appear from nothing. Over the hundreds of years that the structure has stood, many people have come and gone, lived and died, and a few have even remained. It may be tempting to disregard the lingering odor of cigars, even despite the site being smoke-free, but for anyone who has ever smelled it, or has even seen the too tall, shadowy figure that often accompanies it, they will tell you that the sense of fear and foreboding in the air lingers long after the cigar has faded away. Locals and lighthouse employees refer to this specter as the man, and he is often seen dressed in a blue jacket and mariner's cap, walking his route up and down the spiral staircase or looking down from the catwalk above. Because of his tall, thin frame, some believe he is the ghost of William Russell, a protective and dutiful lighthouse keeper from the 1850s, while others point to Joseph Andrew, who fell from the top of a scaffolding in 1859 while putting on a fresh coat of paint. Regardless of who the man is, it's clear that his shift has never ended, and who can forget the children's laughter that bubbles up from thin air and moves across the grounds, from the caretaker's home to the top of the lighthouse itself, as if it has a life of its own. While children weren't uncommon on Anastasia Island, especially in more recent years, there are only so many children who have had a reason to stay. In 1872, the lighthouse was under construction, overseen by a man named Hezekiah Pittee, who stayed on the island with his wife and 2 daughters while the project was underway. One afternoon, while Pittee's daughters and a few of their friends were playing near the lighthouse, tragedy struck, and the island was changed forever. There was a rail cart that the construction crew used to transport supplies from the nearby pier to the lighthouse, and it was the girls' favorite game, pretending they were Spanish pirates. Only one day, while rolling near the cliff's edge, the rail cart came off its tracks, sending the young girls down into the water below. Some of them were rescued in time, but unfortunately, both of Mr. Pittee's daughters were lost to the sea. If anything can be said, it's that the children now get to play long after dark. We know because employees of St. Augustine Lighthouse still hear their giggles ringing out in the night, and have been known to find the dirty, child-sized footprints on the floors the next morning. Which leaves us with one last vestige of the lighthouse's history, and perhaps one of the most unnerving, the woman on the catwalk. Maria Mester de los Dolores stands out for more reasons than just her recent ghostly sightings. In 1859, she became not only the first woman to serve in the U.S. Coast Guard, but she also became the first Hispanic American woman to command a federal shore installation, the St. Augustine Lighthouse. Her appointment came after her husband, the formerly mentioned caretaker Joseph Andrew, met his fateful end. Maria was heartbroken, left on Anastasia Island to follow in the very same footsteps her husband had once walked, and even was known to stand at the edge of the catwalk, looking down to where her husband's body had once laid, broken. She can still be found there, on occasion, leaning over the railing and imagining what those last few seconds of Joseph's life had been like. There is little doubt that, when it comes to hauntings, there are few places that will leave a mark on its visitors like the St. Augustine Lighthouse. With its rich history, infamous legends, and well-documented sightings, it is clear that what happens on Anastasia Island stays on Anastasia Island. So what are your thoughts about St. Augustine's lighthouse and legends? Please feel free to comment your thoughts below. I would like to thank you for joining me here today on my channel, Enlightenment in the Darkness. Please like and subscribe to my content. Many blessings to the rest of your day.